2, 1, ignition. 3, 2, 1, ignition. Shoots.
I hear the chute, but I can't see it.
No, it's not out.
Where's the rocket?
It's right there.
The rocket.
Yeah, it just went out this way. Currently searching for the rocket. It went plenty high. I don't think that my dad was able to film it, but I had my eye on it the whole time. I was manning the launcher. I think it might have landed in this ditch. Okay, so the chute did come out.
Yeah, just never deployed.
Oh, it really busted up the mount on the inside. It's still connected though. Oh, is that the nose cone? This is the nose cone. That is buried.
No.
Yeah, it is. That's 3D printed plastic. Oh, it buried that. I could grab my multi-tool, try and use the pliers.
Yeah.
So, the chute deployed, but, well, it was shot out. That's why I saw the ejection charge. It did kick the nose cone off. The rocket looks fine.
Yeah.
The launch lug it's
fine.
Been moved. It kicked the motor out. The motor's gone. So we were launching with this big field behind it, and the wind is blowing that way, so we thought we would have plenty of field, but it went this way. So, kicked a launch lug equally in every direction. This one ended up in the grass. A little bit of blasting, that's the side that was facing the engine. Blasted. A little bit of charring and some more charring. We left a big new spot on the pad with a lot of char. This is our spent igniter. It got blasted away. GoPro's still going. Overall, great flight. So, launch pad's here. It is over in that field. But this is what I came back for. Pliers.
That's what I'm saying. That went in with some force.
That is impressive. All right, so when we get back to the house, we are going to do a thorough synopsis of the flight. This was just one flight, and I didn't bring more than one motor, so next time we fly will be a while from now. But yeah, overall, very satisfied. Flew very high, and even without the parachute going off, it survived. So there's that. Now we have this big tower at our launch site, so because this is intact, I'm gonna go up there and then drop it down just to test the parachute. Oh, this is scary for the rocket. All right, let go of the rocket. In 3, 2, 1. Well, there you go. That's what should have happened. And this is what we should have walked up upon instead of, you know, what we walked up upon. All right, we will go home, talk about what happened in this flight, what we've learned for the next flight, and hopefully get back out here for another flight. All right, so the first launch of RP-1 was a technical success in that we had a successful launch and a successful flight. It actually went pretty high, but, well, pretty high for an E-class rocket motor, but at the same time, the parachute did not deploy and it crashed into the ground. But at the same time, we had a successful recovery, and after a little bit of cleanup on the nose cone, repacking the parachute and whatnot, and fixing the parachute's mount just a little bit, we should be ready for another launch. So while successful in launch, failure in parachute deployment, it was also a successful recovery. So let's talk about what I think happened. So the nose cone didn't get blasted off, I don't think. It's kind of a mystery what happened, because I saw the ejection charge go off in the air, but the parachute didn't come out. We didn't see this big red chute in the sky, obviously, and it obviously didn't glide down to the ground. It smashed into the ground. At the same time, while I saw the orange ejection flash, I don't think that the nose cone popped off, because if it did, it would not have been able to bury itself as buried as you saw in the video. So, while I don't think that this got popped off, I did see the ejection charge, so I don't know how that happened. It might have ejected it about halfway and some of the gases got through. I honestly have no idea. So, I think that it all came down together. That's how it got buried into the ground. And then maybe the ejection charge went off then, because the rocket just got fired off of the nose cone a little bit, and the parachute was still folded up. It was just laying there next to the rocket. Not completely positive what happened with that, but the parachute is still connected to the rocket. The rocket was recovered. It's going to need some cleanup, but it itself is fine. I also did a drop test of the rocket, because I tested the parachute unfolding just by dropping the parachute, but I never dropped the parachute once I had it connected to the rocket, because there was nowhere I could do it. But at our launch location there was a nice tall tower, so I went up on top of the tower and dropped it from there, and the parachute worked great. So the parachute can bring down the rocket nice and safely, nice and fast. But yeah, overall really successful with that. Another thing that was super successful was the launch lugs. They all have a little bit of charring at the base of the launch lug, and they were just kicked off to the side of the vehicle. So when the vehicle launched, you can just see all 4 of them eject off in a different direction, and the vehicle clears perfectly fine. So that worked perfectly, and they can be reused, because while they have some charring, they weren't destroyed or melted. The other thing is, the motor was ejected from the vehicle. I don't know when. The ejection charge might have pushed the motor out, which might have been the flash that I saw. I'm not sure. I'm not completely positive. It also kind of tore the shock cord away from the sidewall of the vehicle a little bit at the base where it actually hit, so that'll probably have to be repaired after every launch. But all in all, a successful flight, a successful recovery, and we have 2 more E-12 rocket motors, or E-class rocket motors, ready to fly this thing again. And we're ready to fly again. So this will not be the last you see of RP-1 or Rocket Prototype 1. You will see it probably fly again, not sure when, probably in the next few weeks hopefully. School has started back up for me. It is online school for now, but that does kind of limit when I can fly. Also, if you didn't see my video where I crashed my car, I did crash my Mustang, and I have a little bit more news on that, which will be on the whole process of what's happening with my car. And that video will be coming out probably a little bit after this video. I haven't filmed that video yet, but going into what happened with the car, whether it got totaled and whatnot, I'm not going to spoil that now. But yeah, overall successful flight. Failure to deploy the parachute, but a successful recovery. We still have all of our fins, everything's intact. While we did lose the motor and motor casing, it's still somewhere out there in the field, we never found it. The motor casing I designed to be expendable. So I 3D printed 3 of these motor casings that go onto the actual rocket motor, and it's just an adapter from the rocket motor to the rocket. But it's such a heavy thing that once it stops exerting thrust on the vehicle, it's so easy for it to, if there becomes a lack of friction or the parachute extends, I wasn't going to be surprised if the parachute popped out and that sudden jolt of the vehicle shot this out. So I wasn't expecting to find this again, and it's just so hard to get that motor back out of there. Once it's in here, it's not coming back out. So I designed these to be expendable. They go in the vehicle, they launch the vehicle, and if it's recovered with the vehicle, it's just going to get tossed. If it's not recovered with the vehicle, not a big deal. They were designed to be expendable. But yeah, all in all, this concludes test flight 1 of RP-1 on an Estes E-12-4 rocket motor, so we did have a 4-second delay on that parachute ejection charge. But all in all, a very successful flight. I'm very happy with the results. We learned a lot, which is what this prototype is about, learning how to launch a 3D printed rocket. We also learned that the sheer durability of a 3D printed rocket. This fell probably 500 feet out of the sky and is sitting here perfectly fine. without a parachute having brought it back down to safety. So that says a lot for 3D printing rockets. Not only is it a design perfectly like I wanted it, it's not a modified cardboard tube, it was just built from the ground up like this, but also it's very durable. So that little bit of extra heft that you get with it being 3D printed plastic, I think is made up by the fact that it fell 500 feet out of the sky, the parachute didn't eject, and it's still sitting here ready to fly again. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you're stoked for this program, and you're stoked for the next launch of RP-1 with another E12 rocket motor, and then another. And then after that, hopefully you are stoked to see RP-1 fly on even bigger rocket motors, and eventually maybe other rockets in the future besides RP-1. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace!